Hi, I'm teacher Farah Youssef. Our grammar lesson today is about the past progressive tense. At the end of this grammar lesson, students will be able to identify and use the past progressive tense with its forms properly. Also to identify and use the affirmative, negative, interrogative forms of the past progressive tense. The form. Now, how to form the past progressive or continuous tense? It's formed by adding verb to be was or were, of course, verb to be in the past, before the main verb, and then the main verb should end with ing. So was, were, plus present participle. When the subject is singular or the pronoun I is used, here we use the verb to be was. So was, use it with the personal pronoun I and with the singular subjects he, she, or it. For example, I was studying when you came. When the subject is a plural, use the verb to be were. Now look at this example. They were studying when you came. Do you see? Here we have they, which is a plural subject. We use were plus verb plus ing. Here, I, which is a personal pronoun, okay, use was, verb study, and ing at the end of it. Practice 1. Write the past progressive form of the verbs in brackets. Look here. I play. Look at the subject here. We have I which is personal pronoun. So I, it takes was or were, of course, was, and the verb play, just add ing to form the past progressive. I was playing. You, of course, we use were and the verb playing. You were playing. He, she, and it, of course, these are third person singular subjects. We use was. We, you, and they, we use were. So the answer will be was playing, he was playing, she was playing, it was playing, we were playing, you were playing, and they were playing. When do we use the past progressive tense? Simply, we use the past progressive tense to express or to tell about an action of the verb that happened in the past and continued for a certain period of time. For example, I was watching TV at 10 p.m. So look here at the verb I was watching. We use the past progressive tense. We said to tell an action that happened in the past and continued for a certain period of time. So was watching TV at 10 p.m. Maybe I started to watch TV at 9, okay? And I was watching TV at 10 p.m. So I started maybe at 9 and continued in the past. So we use the past progressive tense. Look at this diagram. Here we have the present, we have the past tense. It happened, this is the verb watch, okay? Was watching, it happened in the past and continued for a while. Because of this, we use the past progressive tense, which is a long action. So, with long actions, use the past progressive tense. Interrupted action in the past. Let us look at this diagram. Here, the past tense, the past progressive, it continued for a certain period of time, but here we have a cross. It means that something interrupted it. Look here, we use the past continuous to indicate that a longer action in the past was interrupted. Here, the interruption is usually shorter action, and because it is shorter action, here we use the past simple and not the past progressive. So the past progressive only for longer action. Let us take an example. I was watching TV when she came. So look here. Was watching TV. Was watching is the longer action. It is the present progressive or continuous. I was watching TV. So the verb watch, it happened in the past and continued for a certain time, for a certain period of time. Okay, something interrupted it. This interruption is usually the shorter action and it expresses the simple past tense. She came. When the phone rang, she was writing a letter. Which action happened first? She was the action of the verb write. So she was writing, okay? In the past, she was writing a letter. So this is a longer action that happened in a certain time in the past and continued for a certain period of time, okay? So this is the longer action. We use it in the past progressive. Something interrupted it. So here we have the phone rang. Rang is the shorter action. We have to use it in the past simple tense. While I was taking a bath, electricity turned off. Look, was taking, turned off, turned. Okay? I was taking a bath. While I was taking a bath, this indicates longer action that happened, okay, and continued for a certain period of time. But here, while I was taking a bath, this is a long action because it is, yes, in the past continuous. Something interrupted me. What about this thing? Electricity turned off. So, as we said that the interruption is usually the shorter action, so we have to use it in the past simple tense. We often use the conjunctions while and when with the past progressive tense to connect two actions that happened in the past. So, in order to connect two actions that both happen in the past, we have to use while or when. And as you know that both actions, look here at this sentence, was watching TV and here was watching and came. Here rang, was writing, was taking, turned. So both actions, okay, happened in the past. But one of these actions, of these verbs happened first. The one that happened first is the longer action. It is the past continuous tense. The action that happened last, which is the shorter action, is the simple past tense. While and when. While and when are two conjunctions that connect two sentences together in the past. While is used in front of a long action for the first structure, while it may connect long action with short action. For example, I mean here by the long action the past progressive tense because it is the long action. It happened in the past and continued for a certain period of time. So this is the long action I mean by the long action past progressive. And the short action is the simple past. It is the action that interrupted that long action. For example, he came while I was studying. So look at this sentence. Both verbs came and was studying, okay, they show past tense. But look, the tense or the action of the verb that happened first is the past progressive. The action of the verb that happened first is the past progressive. Look here, we have was studying. So while I was studying, okay, something interrupted me. That action should be in the simple past tense. came. Structure 2, while connected two actions, both are long actions. I mean by long action, of course, the past progressive tense. For example, I was listening to music while I was eating my dinner. So look here, both verbs happened in the past. Both verbs have long action. So while I was eating the dinner, I was listening to music. So both the actions happened in the past and continued for a certain period of time. Okay, so we use the past progressive tense. I was eating my dinner at the same time I was listening to music. Now when we use the conjunction when in front of a short action, so the structure will be here. We have the conjunction when. It connects two actions. Okay, both are in the past. Here I mean by the short action, the action that interrupted that long one, and it should be in the simple past. And the action that happened first, which is the long one, should be in the past progressive tense. Let us take this example. I was taking a bath when the phone rang. What were you doing when the phone rang? When the phone rang, I was taking a bath. So the verb here, was taking, should be in the past progressive because this verb happened first. It is the longer action. Okay, this verb is interrupted by that one, so the phone rang. Rang should be in the past simple form. Practice 2. Write when or while in the blank space. The students were doing an exam. The bell rang. Here we have short action. Okay, so we have to use when. She was writing an email, her computer turned off. Here we have long action past progressive, so we have to use while. He fell down, he was climbing a tree. Here he was climbing a tree. We have long action, so use while. I saw an accident, I was waiting for the bus. Also we have long action was waiting, used while. Past progressive tense with its forms affirmative, negative, and the question. Of course, I mean by the affirmative the positive form of the sentence without using any negative word like not. This is an affirmative sentence. It should, of course, all sentences should start with a capital letter. It should end with a period, the affirmative, because it declares something or it states something. The negative sentence, it is the sentence that contains the negative word not, okay, and the question or interrogative sentence that should end with a question mark. The form of the affirmative here, subject plus verb to be, was or were, plus verb plus ing at the end, okay, plus complement. Here we have, for example, she was playing football. The negative form, subject, verb to be, was or were, of course, in the past, okay, and the word not, then we have verb plus ing plus complement. For example, you were not or you weren't drinking water. Interrogative, okay, verb to be, was or were. Here we have to start with the verb to be in order to make the question form, then subject, then verb plus ing. For example, look at this affirmative sentence. She was drinking water. Was she drinking water? Okay, so we started with the verb to be was. Short answers. Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. Complete the following chart. Affirmative, negative, and the question. Here we have a sentence. In the affirmative, we have to change it into negative and the question and so on. She was watching the movie. In the negative, use not after verb to be. So, she was not watching the movie. In the question form, start with the verb to be. Was she watching the movie? Here, they weren't studying English yesterday. In the affirmative, cross the negative word not. They were studying English yesterday. In the question form, start with the verb to be. Were they studying English yesterday? Question mark. Was the television working properly last night? Here, the question sentence, let us change it into affirmative. The television, start with the subject, then verb to be. The television was working properly last night. In the negative, add the word not after verb to be. The television was not working properly last night. Non-progressive verbs. These verbs, they show a state more than an action, so we use them in the simple past and not in the past progressive tense. Some of these verbs, they show opinion, others show position, emotions, senses, states, etc. For example, I heard something, I understood the lesson. Here I can't say I was understanding the lesson, so I understood. This verb is non-progressive, so we use it in the simple past tense. Summative exercise. Write the correct form of the verb in brackets. The kids play in the garden when it suddenly began to rain. Here we have the conjunction when. Okay, it connects two sentences together. They should be in the past. The action that happened first should be the past progressive, the long action. And here the action that interrupted the long action should be in the simple past like began. So here we should write were playing. While Sally worked in her room, her friends swim in the pool. Here we have also two actions of verbs, both happen in the past, while we use it in front of actions of long actions. So past progressive is used was working and were swimming, while long action, long action. What you do yesterday when it suddenly rained. Okay, so when it suddenly rained, here we have two actions of verbs. Here rained is the simple past. Okay, the action of the verb that interrupted the first one, the long action. What were you doing? You hear thunder when it started to rain. It becomes, did you hear thunder when it started to rain?